Walt Disney World is the happiest place on earth, except when it's not. Behind the carefully crafted facade lives a darker reality. And today we're going to peel back that facade and look into the disturbing aspects of Walt Disney World's history and talk about some of those dark stories. Let's get spooky. Hey, spooky people, it's your best friend Kenny here. And before we get into this video, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, The Spooky Lawyer. Make sure that you like and share this video. If you go on a trip, instead of using your headphones, just play this video on full blast in front of the entire plane or bus or train or whatever you are. And if someone asks you to turn it down, just say no. Kenny said it's okay, and also subscribe to his YouTube channel. Walt Disney World started off as a secret project. In the early 1960s, Walt Disney decided to expand his empire beyond California. He wanted to create a new kind of immersive experience in Florida. The Florida Project, as it was known at Disney, aimed to create a destination that surpassed the limitations of Disneyland, offering more control and a wider variety of guest experiences. First, Walt Disney needed land. Disney had to secretly obtain the land to prevent price gouging. So Disney employed a bunch of lawyers, oh boy, to create a network of dummy corporations with names like the I-4 Corporation and Reedy Creek Ranch Corporation. This was shady, but it was an effective strategy in getting the land, and Disney purchased over 27,000 acres of Florida swampland and citrus groves. Although he was successful in obtaining the land, Disney was not transparent about the potential impact on local communities who were unaware of Disney's plans. Locals and lawmakers were kept in the dark until the Orlando Sentinel exposed Project X in 1965. In order to get this land, Disney exploited rural landowners, many of whom sold property at below market rates without knowing the buyer's identity. Imagine you have a nice little home on some Florida swamp, a bunch of little gator friends, and you're living your best Florida man, woman, non-binary life, and then all of a sudden, Disney World pops up. Disney was also able to negotiate with the Florida government an unprecedented autonomy over the land, creating a private government with control over zoning, firefighting, utilities, and other aspects of the land, called the Reedy Creek Improvement District. This corporate kingdom allowed Disney to bypass local laws, avoid taxes, and avoid state oversight. You might recall in 2022, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dissolved Reedy Creek after Disney opposed the Don't Say Gay bill. Adding to the air of secrecy surrounding Disney World is the existence of the utilidors, a network of underground tunnels underneath the Magic Kingdom. These tunnels serve the purpose in maintaining the illusion of a seamless experience for guests. Cast members use utilidors to move between the areas of the park without breaking character or disrupting the themed environments above ground. The system is efficient, but it also contributes to a sense that there's some hidden secret world operating beneath the surface of Disney World. Disney World had a significant impact on its environment. Disney World was built on drained wetlands, which disrupted the ecosystems. Environmentalists sued Disney in the 1970s over its role in the failed Crossed Florida Barge Canal, a project that threatened the Ocklawaha River. The park's artificial lakes and landscaping displaced native wildlife, including alligators, which possibly led to a tragic encounter where in 2016, where a 2-year-old boy was dragged to his death by an alligator. While Disney World actively promotes its conservation efforts and initiatives, the environmental impact of its operations is massive. The resort generates an estimated 23 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent annually, a figure that includes indirect emissions and equates to the annual output of 6 coal plants. This is a significant carbon footprint that raises concerns about its sustainability and its contribution to climate change. Disney has taken some steps to mitigate its environmental impact, including investing in carbon credits and supporting reforestation projects worldwide. The company has implemented initiatives to reduce water consumption and waste generation within its parks. However, the sheer scale of the resort and the continuous influx of visitors present challenges in minimizing its environmental footprint. Disney likes to portray a carefully cultivated image of a magical environment. However, Walt Disney World has faced criticism for its labor practices. Reports have emerged alleging poor working conditions, low wages, and inadequate benefits for employees. Disney has long faced criticism for underpaying frontline workers or its cast members. In 2018, 75% of its cast members reported struggling to afford basic needs. Disney's minimum wage was $15 an hour in 2021. Disney also employs shady internship programs. The Disney College program, which Disney claim offers valuable experience, networking opportunities, and unique perks like park access, and consider it a stepping stone for careers in the hospitality industry. However, interns live in cramped apartments, work long hours for minimal pay, and face strict rules, such as curfews and bans on alcohol. And critics call it a cult-like system that exploits young labor. Critics also say the program doesn't provide sufficient educational or career development opportunities. There have been significant and horrific worker deaths and injuries that have occurred in the park. Which, of course, there have. A park of this scale, there's always going to be those type of things that happen. However, it really runs against the grain of Disney's image of the most magical place on Earth. In 2019, a maintenance worker died in a fall at Epcot's France Pavilion, which was under construction at the time. The incident occurred behind the scenes, so no guests witnessed it, thankfully. The worker, George Walter Dwayne Grimes, was a 58-year-old employee of Sunbelt Rentals, a company hired by Disney to perform backstage work. A Disney employee named Austin Wunenberg, who was a 21-year-old monorail pilot, was killed on July 5th, 2009, when two monorail trains collided at the Transportation and Ticket Center. The National Transportation Safety Board conducted an investigation into the incident and determined that the primary cause of the crash was a failure to properly position a track switch. This error led one monorail to reverse into another, resulting in the fatal collision. This incident led to significant changes in Disney World's monorail operations, including enhanced safety procedures for track switching, improved communication and coordination among the monorail personnel, and modifications to the monorail system to prevent similar tragic accidents in the future. However, it's crazy to think that this type of accident occurred in 2009 and that they didn't have these procedures then. Another employee death occurred on the Primeval Whirl in the Animal Kingdom on March 13th, 2011. A 52-year-old employee sustained head injuries while working on the ride and was airlifted to a hospital where he later passed. Part of the issue was Disney had no guardrails where the victim was working, and had been cited by OSHA in the past over not having these guardrails and similar accidents. The ride was undergoing maintenance and was closed to the public at the time of the incident. These incidents and legal issues show that there is a disconnect between Disney's public image as a responsible employee and the reality faced by a lot of their employees. Disney World is also supposedly haunted by a wide range of actual ghosts. For example, Pirates of the Caribbean, there is a famous Disney ghost named George. George was supposedly a construction worker who fell to his death while building the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, and he is said to haunt the ride, causing malfunctions and appearing in photos. Some cast members even say they have to greet George every morning and evening to appease him. There's also allegedly two women ghosts who haunt the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. The legend has it that two women died in a boating accident on the ride, and they now linger in the shadows, particularly near the waterfall scene. There is supposedly a little boy ghost who haunts the Haunted Mansion. Some guests and cast members have reportedly seen the ghost of a young boy riding the Doom buggies alone. The Tower of Terror, which is one of my favorite Disney rides, has the bellhop, who is a ghost that is said to be a former bellhop who died on duty and now haunts the ride, especially on Platform D. He supposedly causes malfunctions and flickering lights. There are other areas where there have been ghost sightings too. On Tom Sawyer Island, guests have reported eerie feelings and shadowy figures in the caves and the tunnels. On Disney's Boardwalk Inn, the nanny chairs in the lobby are rumored to be haunted by the souls of dead children. And some believe that Walt Disney's apartment has Walt Disney's spirit still lingering in it above the firehouse on Main Street, USA. There have also been numerous guests that have been in accidents and have died on Disney attractions. There is a rumor that Disney has a policy of not allowing people to be pronounced dead within their park. This rumor circulates with variations, kind of like most urban legends, but the basic gist is that Disney will do everything possible to transport someone to a hospital before they are officially declared dead. Thus, no one dies at Disney. However, this is a myth. There's no evidence to suggest that they have a policy to prevent death pronouncements within the park. It would be highly unethical and potentially illegal for Disney to interfere with necessary medical procedures or to try to manipulate death pronouncements. Medical professionals are bound by ethical and legal operations to provide appropriate care and declare death when it occurs. If such a policy were to be exposed, it would create a massive public relations disaster for Disney, far outweighing any perceived benefit of maintaining a no one dies at Disney image. One of the most famous deaths that occurred at Disney is the brain-eating amoeba death that occurred in August 22nd, 1980, at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. An 11-year-old boy died after swimming in the River Country Water Park. The cause of death was by brain-eating amoeba, and traces of which are found in the water. It entered through the nose and made its way through the brain. Now, this type of amoeba can live in any type of natural warm water and is very common in Florida. So Disney did not face any litigation or any fines over this issue. However, it is believed to be one of the reasons why River Country Water Park was closed. On Christmas in 2014, a woman died on the It's a Small World ride in Magic Kingdom. A 22-year-old woman lost consciousness after riding the attraction and died. Supposedly, the woman had a pre-existing condition. There's not much information about this particular death, but I know that the It's a Small World is a particularly beloved and hated ride. So I thought this one was interesting. On Splash Mountain, on November 5th, 2000, a 37-year-old man was fatally injured while trying to exit the ride vehicle as it was moving. He told fellow passengers that he felt ill and attempted to reach one of the attraction's emergency exits. He was then struck by the following ride vehicle, one of those logs, and died from blunt force trauma. A lot of these rides warn you that if you have a heart condition, you should not ride these rides, and there's good reason for that. When you ever see a warning like that, the reason is the lawyers told them that they had to put that warning up, and the reason why the lawyers told them that they have to put that warning up is because these things have occurred in these areas. On Space Mountain, on December 7th, 2006, a 73-year-old man lost consciousness while riding Space Mountain. He was transported to a hospital and died there 3 days later, and the medical examiner found that the man died of natural causes due to a heart condition. Disney has also been the scene of violent crime. And possibly one of the most horrific crimes that I've ever heard of occurred in Celebration, Florida, which is a master planned community located near the Walt Disney World in Florida. Celebration was originally developed by Walt Disney in the 1990s with the vision of creating a town that embodies small-town American charm and values. Disney's influence is visible in the town's design and atmosphere. Celebration has a traditional-style downtown area with shops, restaurants, and a movie theater, all designed to evoke a classic American Main Street. The town has a variety of housing options, including single-family homes, townhouses, and apartments, all built in architectural styles reminiscent of early 20th century America. Since Celebration is located near Walt Disney, it is a popular choice for Disney employees and visitors who want to live close to Disney World. Now, it's important to know that while it was developed by Disney and conceived by Disney, the company has divested much of its control over the town. However, Disney still has significant influence over the town's feel and its commitment to creating a Disney-like environment. It was here in Celebration, Florida, where Anthony Todt murdered his wife their 3 kids, and dog in 2019. Anthony Todt was a physical therapist who murdered his wife, Megan Todt, his 13-year-old son, Alec Todt, his 11-year-old son, Tyler Todt, and his 4-year-old daughter, Zoe Todt, as well as Breezy, the family dog. Anthony Todt drugged the members of his family with Benadryl and then stabbed them to death. Their bodies were found in the house in January 2020 after police were called for a welfare check. Bodies were found in an advanced state of decomposition, and Anthony Todt was living with the bodies and sleeping with the bodies in their bed. Now, the exact motive of the crime is unclear, but there are believed to be several factors that have contributed. First, the family was facing eviction, and Anthony Todt's physical therapy business was under investigation for Medicare fraud. Some of the evidence suggests that Anthony Todt may have been having a psychotic break, distorted beliefs, possibly influenced by apocalyptic ideologies. There has been speculation that he believed he was saving his family from an impending doom. Anthony Todt initially attempted to blame his wife for the murder, but eventually confessed to the murders. During the trial, the defense attempted to portray Todt as mentally unstable and claimed he was trying to protect his family. However, the prosecution successfully argued that he acted with premeditation. In 2022, Anthony Todt was found guilty on 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of animal cruelty. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The case had a significant amount of attention due to its shocking nature and the fact that it was located in a Disney-developed community. This case is a horrific example of domestic violence and a tragic loss of innocent lives. There are also some urban legends about Disney World. For example, Discovery Island is a former wildlife sanctuary that is now deserted and overgrown. And it has drawn urban explorers and other people attempting to go visit this area, risking their lives by getting into the water and swimming into the area, risking the potential alligators and brain-eating amoeba. There's a famous urban legend that Walt Disney's frozen remains are located somewhere beneath either Disneyland or Disney World, waiting for when technology can bring him back to life. However, the truth is Walt Disney was cremated after his death. There's a theory that Walt Disney's Frozen is called Frozen to remove this theory from Google or, push it down very far down in the Google algorithm, because when you search Walt Disney Frozen, the movie Frozen is what comes up, not Walt Disney's cryogenically frozen body. Again, that's just a rumor, an urban legend, a conspiracy theory, but I think it's a pretty good one. Walt Disney World also has to deal with people scattering the ashes of loved ones throughout the park, hoping to make Disney World their final resting place. And it's happened so frequently that Walt Disney actually has special procedures to deal with this issue, including special HEPA-filtered vacuums for vacuuming up the cremains. It goes without saying that real life is never as perfect or pristine as anybody, or in this case, Disney, attempts to make it seem like it is. And obviously, Disney World is a similar situation where, sure, it's the happiest place on earth, but real life happens, and because it's real life, there are dark aspects. The reality is always more complex, and there are always disturbing aspects to any sort of massive project or any sort of area with large amounts of land. Just like any city or town, bad things happen, and bad things happen to people. And especially when you have that many people going in and out of the area, there are going to be disturbing incidents. When something is as popular as it seems, there are going to be urban legends. I think the dark aspects of Disney are fascinating. It gives you a better perspective on the real world of Disney. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, The Spooky Lawyer. Make sure that you like and share this video. There is a super thanks button below the video on the YouTube bar. Go ahead and hit that if you would like to donate some money to the channel. Any money donated to the channel is going to go back into the channel, of course. Make sure that you are following me on Blue Sky and TikTok. My username is akbrews. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. My username is akbrews there as well. If there are any spooky or disturbing stories you would like me to cover, send me an email. My email address is thespookylawyer@gmail.com. I appreciate you watching my video. I appreciate you supporting me as this channel has grown, and it's been growing significantly lately. So I'm very appreciative of that. And of course, please Stay spooky.